You're listening to The Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Hello, it's Monday night, and you've stumbled into the Raw Reaction. How are you? Me and Vic were just in our little corner of the internet, and you happened to stumble upon us. I am your host, Angry Tensai, aka Rusev's penis, and with me as always is Big Dick. Big Dick, how are you tonight, sir?
Going by my new moniker, Chicken Head.
Chicken Head. You know, Big Dick, I gotta tell you, we just witnessed Rusev become the new United States champion, not even on Raw, but after Raw on the WWE network. And, you know, it just reminds me even further that the United States is the greatest country in the world. And if you are Rusev, if you are a certain unnamed terrorist group, and you come on our side of the mountain, you need to learn what to expect, and you got to know what to expect. And I have
that is handouts in Obama's America.
Yeah, you get an Obama phone, but I will tell you, I see the beatdown from John Cena on its way to Rusev, and honestly, bro, it can't come soon enough for me. I'll never be so happy to see John Cena.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, at some point this needs to end. It's getting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like them building up a strong heel, but where do you go from here? I mean, you basically booked yourself into a corner. I like him getting the U.S. Championship belt, but it almost feels like he was past that when he's wrestling people like Mark Henry and going in Big Show and going in feuds like that. It almost feels like this was sort of a step back.
I agree. The U.S. title's a prop.
I would have legitimately been pissed if he lost tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the title's a prop. It's just because it's the U.S. title. It's got the American flag on it. It's like, okay, we get he hates America. He doesn't really need the U.S. title. I will bet you he's going to do. He might do a Lance Storm, dude. He might turn into the Russian heavyweight title.
That'd be awesome. Why does he hate America so much?
He really shouldn't.
Is it possible because the girth of his penis is maybe a detriment?
I think I know why he hates America, because he's in the WWE and he's not very large, like he's not tall, and he's short compared to all the American wrestlers. That's got to be it, because he's like playing the role of a monster heel, but he's not really that ominous outside the fact he's wide.
Yeah, he is a very thick individual.
I mean, let's just break him down a little bit. He's slow. He sucks on the mic. He's doing a gimmick that's already been done. He's not really tall. He's really wide, and he's not necessarily ripped or really jacked. He's just basically there. That's pretty much Rusev.
WWE has pushed the hell out of him, and I don't mind it, because I think you need to push the hell out of somebody like this. This is the only way they're going to get over. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck wrestling Tyson Kidd on the opening match of Main Event. So I like building up a little. I like the slow burn here. I like him getting The Rock's attention at Raw a couple of weeks ago. I don't think his first loss was The Rock.
I very much enjoyed a segment with The Rock where he got treated like who he really is, and that was a complete jabroni. You know, I'm glad to see my boy Ryback's back, the big guy. I'm super excited about that. Second week in a row, he runs through Titus O'Neil tonight, who issues an open challenge as he wants to impress the Authority tonight. Could you see Ryback locking horns with Rusev, Big Dick?
You know what? That would be an interesting match. I just don't think that I don't think it's the payoff match. I could see it being a match, but at this point, it seems like Ryback's getting a pretty solid push. Like, I think this is the first time that he's elicited any crowd reaction in about a year.
Yeah,
so,
well,
let's just forget about his short time with Curtis the Axe Hennig.
well, to your point, John Cena brought his shovel to put Ryback away the first time. They had to turn him heel for that feud because everybody wanted Ryback to win. Ryback's good. Obviously he's building up fan support. It's only a second week back. I really like Ryback being back, and I think they're going to do it right this time. And he is actually good on the mic. He's good on social media. He's funny. He's a good worker. He plays a spot. He does short matches. They're powerful matches. They get the attention of the crowd, and that's fine. He doesn't have to be the main eventer, but I think he'll take out Rusev maybe if they hook him up. But I don't think Rusev's long for this world. I'm sorry. I just don't see that being a character that's going to be around a year from now.
Yeah, I don't see Rusev getting taken out by Ryback at this point, but at the rate that they're slowly seeing, and I think they're probably surprised that people actually give a crap about Ryback and want him to do good again. I think it's almost like, hey, holy crap, I didn't think he'd get any reaction. I could see him maybe teaming up with Cena on his Royal Rumble team, or not Royal Rumble, Survivor Series team. I could see that possibly happening, and then getting a push from there. I just don't know if he's the one.
Could you see any type of Ebola gimmick or outbreak in the locker room being good for business? A storyline.
You know what? I have heard of an ongoing staph infection being passed around the locker room. Yes, they called it in Baltimore.
For real?
No.
Oh. I thought you were serious. I think an Ebola gimmick would be very good for the WWE.
You know what? It might be too soon. That might go over as well as the ISIS gimmick on Saturday Night Live.
Well, it's funny. We hear how bad our healthcare here is in America, which is all propaganda and bullshit. We do have the best healthcare in the world in the United States, which is, I think, it's true. Everyone but Duncan, who was the last one back, came back too far gone. We have cured 4 of 4, and the doc in New York is now stable, and it looks like he's going to be cured as well. So, despite
his best efforts, nobody else caught it.
Yeah, I know.
If you read a playbook of what not to do if you've been exposed to Ebola, he pretty much did that. He pretty much ran around the city, went on the subway, went on a train, had unprotected sex with prostitutes. He pretty much did everything he possibly humanly could to spread that Ebola virus.
Pretty much a first night for Adam Rose.
Exactly. You know what? I don't know where Adam Rose has been this week. I didn't see Raw last week, but I miss him. I'm not gonna lie.
Speaking of promiscuity, how did you feel about one of our fan favorites, Dolph Ziggler, being in yet another prominent week of airtime? I thought he had a good spot tonight. I thought he had a good interaction with the Authority. How did you feel about his night tonight?
I like it. I think they're pushing him up to be like Cena's B+ player, and I like him playing. I like the way Triple H planted the seed there. There's no real thought like, oh, hey, maybe he's gonna have, maybe he is actually gonna not join Cena's team. But I could see down the road. If it comes down to like him and Cena as the last two in, who knows? Maybe he does walk out and become the ultimate heel. I don't know. It seems like he's been getting so much positive pops from the crowd that I think that they want to continue to push him face, just because they don't have a ton of strong B+ face players right now outside of Dean Ambrose and John Cena. We have unfortunately Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns both out on the shelf for the time being.
Well,
so I think
the crowd will cheer for Dolph Ziggler no matter what, Vic.
Yeah. They like him because he's a hard worker. And the crowd popped huge when they were talking about, hey, you know what? You're probably the hardest worker in the locker room. And that, I don't think you can necessarily argue with that. There's probably a dozen wrestlers who you can tell, hey, these guys really put the work in, are great technical wrestlers, and they can put on 20 to 30-minute match and not look twice.
A couple of themes tonight to that point about good workers. The setting for the Raw tonight was really about formulating Team Cena versus Team Authority, and I kind of was surprised by a couple things tonight. Number one, there was not a lot of segments. There's a first segment we'll talk about in a second, and then there was this Dolph Ziggler segment, which was a play off the first segment. Everything else was actual wrestling matches, which of course we like. We like to see wrestling matches. That's why we tune in. But with that being said, I was surprised that not only did Seth Rollins essentially wrestle 2 matches tonight, but so did Rusev and so did Sheamus. And that's an interesting thing, because you'd think with all the talent that's on the roster of the WWE, they would trust their workers to give them more airtime, especially with all the talent they have in the locker room and all the different players they have. I think they really wasted a chance tonight to showcase a lot of different talent. However, there are guys that they really are focusing on. What I think is interesting, Vic, is in that first segment, before we start the the rampage of matches, Vince McMahon returned to TV with the Authority, and he seemed to be on good terms as he came out with Triple H and Stephanie. But what I found to be odd was Vince talked about how this match is really important, especially it's gotten more important to Triple H and Stephanie because it's going to be an ultimate match, because they have such faith in their team that the match is going to be for everything and for control of the WWE. And if the Authority's team does not win, they won't be in power anymore, essentially. Now, maybe I misunderstood something here, but why would Triple H and Stephanie agree to that?
I don't know. I mean, it might just be a way of sort of raising the stakes and getting people into the pay-per-view. I mean, I think that this show really showed the desperation of WWE trying to get subscribers. Yeah,
but I mean, I was under the impression that Stephanie is a controlling interest, just like Vince is, even though Vince is the chairman. I understand they're trying to get viewers Novembers for free, but I don't know. I just don't understand why Vince or why Triple H and Stephanie would agree to it. I get why Vince is doing it, but it doesn't make sense to me why Triple H and Stephanie would agree to that. And then they should, I would think, immediately make this a no disqualification Survivor Series or any type of rule where they could really take advantage to make sure they'd win. I didn't really see that sense of urgency at all from Triple H and Stephanie up until the Triple H Randy Orton segment, because one of the big concepts tonight was Randy Orton had to make a decision. Is he with the Authority or is he out? We know about his war with Seth Rollins, and I don't know. It seemed a little clunky how they booked it. I think I would have rather have seen them bait Randy Orton or something along those lines, or I don't know. Just with the world title not even being on TV, I'm surprised they would just go along with it. I thought the Authority looked really weak because they're really not the Authority. Vince is anytime he shows up in that case. I would have liked to see Vince aligned with them.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? That could happen still. I mean, they could. If you look at their team right now, you have Seth Rollins and you have Kane. That's it.
I know, it's not a really good team.
No, not a good team at all. So, I mean, I'm thinking there's a couple ways you go here. I think that there could be a tag team. I think Cesaro is going to get a strong look. I think Mark Henry, if he does not end up wrestling Big Show, which I think will probably be a match, I think he'll get a good look. I'm thinking, unfortunately, the Rhodes brothers or Sandow and Mizdow will get a look as 2 members. But what do you think about this? These are 2 wild cards. Number 1, Triple H returning.
I see that. I can see that.
Number 2, Brock Lesnar being the mystery 5th opponent.
No way. I can tell you who the team's going to be right now. I agree with you. Triple H is going to be one of them. I think the other one's Rusev, for sure. And I think Rusev might win the whole thing, which really sucks, which I hate saying. So I see Rusev in there. I see Triple H in there. I think those are the really two obvious ones. And they basically said tonight with Big Show putting himself out there to Cena, and then they don't even remember the guys who put themselves out there were punished tonight. So Dolph Ziggler had to wrestle Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title tonight, and then Zack Ryder tweeted he wanted to be on John Cena's team, and he got obliterated by Rusev. Big Show said, I got my hands up. I want to be on your team. And Big Show, nothing happened to him. So you know John Cena is going to pick him. I see Mark Henry going on their team. So to round it out, I think it's going to be Triple H, Rusev, Henry, Kane, and Rollins. That's a strong team if they go down that path. If those three guys aren't involved, I don't know. I listen, you can make Seth Rollins curb stomp everybody on the roster. I like him. He's a good talent, but he's not a top guy. He's just not. He's just not a top talent.
Yeah, I like the way that they're putting him over. He's well on his way to being a top talent heel, but he's at the point where he's not like a Lesnar, like a fear no one.
Yeah, he's really good. I agree.
He's like a chicken shit heel, but he's doing a great job of it.
He's good, but it's going to take a lot of time. I think Seth Rollins could eventually become a top guy, but it's going to take a lot of time. It's not like Dean Ambrose where he's got that charisma, he's got that look, and Seth Rollins has got one big thing working against him, I think. He was kind of the bottom. He did really assert himself at the end in the Shield, but he was kind of like the weak link, in my opinion. And, you know, he's still got that poor man CM Punk look to him, dude. I'm sorry. Every time I look at him, I think of that. I think of the guy I saw in NXT when I watched it that reminded me of CM Punk. He kind of reminded me of like a cheap version of CM Punk. And I don't think he's that much so anymore, but I think he's still crafting his character. I don't think he's as far along as he will be, but he's not. They're putting so much pressure on him right now. He's not a main event guy. So now here's what's funny. Now people are probably thinking, well, damn, Rusev ain't a main event guy. He's not, but he's got a main event gimmick. And just because you're not a top guy, if you're booked a certain way, it works. Kane came into WWE in 97 or whatever, WrestleMania 14 time, and he obviously wasn't a main eventer right when he walks in, but his gimmick was a main event gimmick. I mean, he was this unstoppable brother of Undertaker that we've never seen anything like it. And that's kind of the way Rusev's booked. So Rusev, although he's not a top guy by any means, he could win the match just by virtue of his gimmick. So it should be interesting. But anytime John Cena's involved, him losing is not likely. Now, Bionic Iguana in the chat room made a great point. Big Dick, why doesn't Triple H and Stephanie, because they have to give up being the authority if they lose, why can't they pick the face team? Like, why can't they pick Cena's team?
Well, I think it gives them the storyline like they did last week of, okay, now there's people standing up to the authority. And right now you have Dolph Ziggler, you have obviously John Cena leading the team, and you have Big Show sort of begging for a spot on a team, which I thought was a little weird with this ongoing feud with Mark Henry. That doesn't look like it has an end to it.
They need two people to get eliminated. So by virtue of having a 5-on-5 match, and by virtue of their feud, you can throw both of those guys on a team, and neither of them is going to win. So I get why they're going down that path. I have to think the winner of match one, Dean Ambrose, for the 9,000th time, took on Cesaro, and he won clean with the Dirty Deeds. It was pretty good match, pretty strong match, good opener match, about 15 minutes long. Will Ambrose make a spot on John Cena's team? Or is he going to be whisked away with Bray Wyatt? Well, I mean, I would think that although the feud with Bray Wyatt is emanating and beginning, I still think Dean Ambrose will find himself into the Royal Rumble, in the Survivor Series, and I don't think that match will necessarily happen at the pay-per-view. So I would expect to see Dean Ambrose take a spot in that match. Now, Vic, is this the point of the show where you say to me, when I ask you if you agree, do you say, yes, chicken head? Because if you all listen closely, I think our man, Big Vic, has fallen asleep.
Nope. Just building up some suspense there. What were you saying now, Angry Tensai?
I was just saying nothing. We're totally gonna get fired. Yes. Chicken head.
Greatest moment.
What is a chicken head?
You don't even want to know. He's John Cena's mystery teammate.
I thought chicken head's a girl.
Chickenhead can be a girl. It's a bisexual term.
Yes. How do you feel about the Bray Wyatt Dean Ambrose feud that's forming?
This thing it doesn't make sense, and I'd like to see more promos for this, because I think that...
Why does Wyatt want to fight Ambrose?
Yeah, and I mean, he seemed to allude to it, but then he showed up in a rocking chair and didn't do anything this week, so...
Yeah, but
I don't
know. Wyatt basically said last week on Raw that they're both tortured souls, and he's got a rat. I don't even remember. I mean, what is the basis of their feud?
Apparently, he's pissed off because Ambrose did something to some chick.
Really?
So basically, it sounds like high school to me.
Yes. Now, where's Harper and Rowan now? They're on their own because they each had segments tonight.
Yeah, I missed Harper's, but Eric Rowan's was pretty funny. The crowd freaking was digging his shit.
But are they not together anymore? Is that what the deal is?
I think that they're. I mean, they probably could be together and stuff, but I think they're trying them out as like singles wrestlers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I almost feel like those two. Number one, I don't necessarily know if they're going to get enough rub as singles wrestlers. I think they could have been a great tag team, and they should still be a great tag team. But for some reason, they're breaking off and sort of letting them go on their own. And I like the fact that you're getting them away from Bray Wyatt, so they're not 100% relying on him.
Right.
But, you know what? Stay together and be a dominant tag team. I mean, shoot, there's so few of them, and that could be a long-term way for you guys to stick around.
Well, I agree with you. Remember we kept saying how the Usos look great whenever they fight those two, and the Usos suck. So your two best tag teams in the WWE aren't even tag teams anymore. So right now, the current best tag teams are the Real Americans, who are not a tag team anymore, followed by Harper and Rowan, who are also not a tag team at the moment.
Yeah, I would say the third best tag team, and this might be a little bit of a stretch, would be Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. I'm sorry, who was it? Rollins and Roman Reigns. I mean, this was a long time ago and a very short span, but I mean, shoot.
No, I know, you're right. I mean, you're right.
I'd definitely take him over the Usos.
The Rhodeses are good, but you're right. I mean, I think I would agree with you. I mean, they really break up all these tag teams when they really get their steam. I really thought the Rollins or not the Rollins. It's like Jesus Christ. the Real Americans, the Rollins brothers, Henry and Seth.
Yeah, no, I think that, like you said, the Real Americans. I mean, they're a freaking great tag team. Everybody hated them.
Do you know that the center for the Detroit Pistons that went by the name Tree Rollins?
I do remember him. He was 7'2" of pure thunder.
You know how he got his nickname Trey?
Because he's very tall.
You would think. Unfortunately, it is what you think it is. His nickname is a joke that was emanated from his locker room in Detroit for the size of his penis. And they referred to him as Trey because they said his penis resembled the tray. Pretty crazy.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. I sometimes get mistaken for that as well.
Big Trey? Anyway, there was a series of really bad tag team matches tonight, or singles matches that were derived from tag team matches. So you had Jimmy Uso versus The Miz. The Miz won due to Sandow interference. It was a horrible, horrible match. And also tonight, Rhodes Cody as Stardust, with The Miz on the mic at ringside, took on Fernando of the Matadores, and Stardust was very in control, very on his way to winning, when there was interference from Torito at ringside, which distracted Goldust, who was standing on the apron. which caused a diversion with The Miz, and Stardust lost to Fernando of all people. I smell a really crappy triangle match coming at our pay-per-view because Friday night on SmackDown, the Usos are taking on the Rhodes brothers again in a cage match. I have a bad feeling we're going to see a triple threat tag team match or a tag team turmoil match with 4 teams or a fatal 4-way.
We get Los Matadores in there as well. I mean,
yeah.
they're far and away the 4th best, most best tag team right now, and that says a lot about everything in that division.
I mean, listen, you know what? I love the effort tonight that they actually put on a wrestling show, and that's cool. But it really had a WWE Superstars, WWE Challenge feel to it. I mean, Ryback killed O'Neal. Jimmy Uso versus The Miz is a joke. Ambrose really, I mean, he rolled Cesaro. I mean, what do we expect?
I like the Cesaro Ambrose match because I think that's a match that could sustain.
But we've seen it so much.
Yeah, but the thing is, it hasn't. They've tried to do it for the last week. Like last Monday, what was it? Last Monday, he got disqualified for hitting him into the mic. Then last week, he ended up winning in some joke pumpkin match on SmackDown, and now he ended up. I don't know what happened. Did Ambrose win tonight?
He did. He won, as I said. He won with Dirty Deeds to go over Cesaro.
I was thinking. I mean, I don't. The reason I don't like this is because you're sort of crushing Cesaro. I mean, he's been pretty hot, and hey, you know what? I know he's not going to be main event in the pay-per-view, but I mean, I think that you can give him an out on stuff. I mean, let Bray Wyatt walk in and get him disqualified. Do it that way. You don't need to pin clean losses versus clean losses against him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to book Fernando into a win, I mean, come on, man. There's no need for that. I get the element of surprise.
I don't like seeing the tag team members fight each other. Like one tag team member fight other tag team member, unless it's the week leading up to a pay-per-view and you've already had the match booked. And then they'll
I never really like that myself. I mean, I guess I agree with you. If it's a tag team champions, and this wasn't, but if it was, I could see, on Raw, one of the tag holders takes on the non-tag holder, and then on the SmackDown, you have the opposite too. I get that. I mean, that's kind of booking 101, but I'm with you. There was no reason the Matadors couldn't have took on both Stardust and Goldust in a non-title match and had the exact same result. But I guess WWE's learning their mistake that you can't keep jobbing champions while they have the titles. To that effect, Sheamus actually lost twice tonight. He lost by countout Tyson Kidd. Now, I didn't think Tyson Kidd had any chance in this match. And I don't really like this Tyson Kidd mental abuse of his wife angle. Just playing mind games with her, treating her shitty. I'm not down with the whole domestic abuse angle and, domestic violence angle. Normally I would, I mean, hell,
normally Angry Tensai is a big fan of domestic abuse.
Yeah,
however, not with Tyson Kidd. He's just not. He's not believable.
Listen, I'm into a good Chris Benoit angle, gym equipment, whatever you need. I'm into a good Ryback rape shower angle, man on man gimmick. I'm into all that, but I think when Natalya Neidhart, that sweet little flower, is treated like total shit via mental abuse, I don't really like that. And then for Tyson Kidd to throw her into harm's way tonight, he throws her into Sheamus when they're fighting outside the ring so that Sheamus could get counted out and Kidd could win the match. He risked Natalya. What if Sheamus kicked her head off?
This damsel in harm's way. I actually have a open letter to the FCC about this. How much I disagreed with this. The one thing that I would like to see, though, is the real story behind this angle taking place, where Natalya is actually the one who's bullying Tyson Kidd, and it's just everywhere except for public. He's getting bitched around and told to do this, told to do that, and basically he runs the show, and then he just puts on a front on TV.
That could be good.
But I feel like Tyson Kidd should be wrestling Adam Rose on the opening of Tuesday Night Superstars as opposed to anything in the first 5 hours of Raw.
I think Tyson Kidd should just stick to being a trainer down at NXT and keep him there. Question. Now, they're playing this whole DV angle out with Natalya and Kidd. Do you see Natalya, WWE playing games with Natalya and Kidd and having Natalya shack up with another person who's Kidd's real wife?
I don't know. That's interesting.
WWE likes to mess with people's lives.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, they screwed up Matt Hardy pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's because Edge was a modern day CM Punk before CM Punk ever got started.
Exactly. Not just great on the mic, but also great with the divas.
To quote Paul Heyman, "Hey guys, hide your wives. Here comes Edge."
Wow. You know what? Edge was. I miss Edge.
He was a great coxman.
Yes, he was, and he was a good champion too. I'm sort of glad he got to.
You know who was a great coxman in his heyday? Our very own Killer Kev.
I thought you were going to say Bob Cross.
He was too, but Killer Kev was a coxman in Kentucky. That guy has put down more women than Big Dick does beers at an Oktoberfest. Let me just tell you.
I've heard stories. I've spent some fleeting time in Kentucky, and yes. Killer Kev's reputation precedes him. If I go within a half dozen counties of his current location, they know his name far and wide.
Oh yeah, dude, he's Killer Kev, Lady Killer Kev. That's how he got the name. Now let me tell you, there is a lot. I mean, he's kind of like the Antonio Cromartie or Dwight Howard of Kentucky. He has 6 2-year-olds currently that were born in the same year. Think about that, folks.
He's very Adrian Peterson-esque?
Yeah, he has 6 Irish twins. That's pretty impressive.
Well, I'm hoping he does not beat any of them with switches. We're going to need to confirm that, however.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just know what this guy brings to the table. I know what he does. It's Kentucky, dude. It's hot. It's Southern hospitality, and that means something. You go down to Kentucky, you meet a nice girl. You know what? If you have a full set of teeth, your hair's there, and you're not 300 pounds, you're gonna have a good chance of meeting a nice lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Killer Kev has been racking it up for these past couple years.
Oh God, yeah. He's a modern day Rick Martel. Anyway,
I was going to say Ric Flair.
Yeah, that too. So, speaking of beautiful women, Nikki Bella destroyed Emma tonight, and I have to say, it can make a guy's peener tingle a little bit to see Nikki Bella just decimate young poor Emma and just finish her off very easily. I enjoyed Emma being squashed, and I enjoyed Nikki Bella going over like such a bitch. It looks like Nikki Bella is on her way to fighting AJ Lee as the number 1 contender, and I like that. And Brie Bella gets humiliated in the interim.
You know what I don't like? I don't like the whole Brie Bella thing. It's sort of it almost feels forced. Like, hey, it's 8 days now. How is being her servant on beck and call going? Guess what? You're getting interrupted and you're getting put down. That's I don't know. It just seemed a little forced to me.
Well, I liked watching Emma get decimated.
I love that part. I like to think that's a little bit, or that's partially for punishment of her theft of an iPhone case.
iPad cover thief. In fact, they should have her come down to the ring and call her the iPad cover thief. Here is the drink at this time at 120 pounds from Australia. The iPad cover thief.
Dude, the crowd would go nuts. I'd love it if they used that in like a stupid angle.
And she could throw out iPad covers, people.
AJ Lee could bust that out and say, "Jesus Christ!" It's like the only thing you're known for in WWE is stealing a freaking iPhone cover.
Well, you remember Eve used to walk around with the iPad. That was pretty cool. And she put all her notes in there.
Hey, you know what? I'm sure she has lots of notes. She seems like somebody who's very studious.
Yeah, she's studious. And you know what? She looks good to me.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
She's everything I want and everything I need. Now, let me ask you this. The main event tonight was Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. Randy Orton, as you pointed out last week, you know what? He's been doing the same shit for 10 years, and thanks to a meme, people are finally seeing what he does. And I have to tell you, what makes Randy Orton so cool is the RKO. Now, I can tell you, back when I was in college, the Stone Cold Stunner was the big move. And people would do it to each other. I would do it to random people at bars and stuff. And you know what? It was always good for a good laugh. But what I like about the RKO, and I've always liked about the RKO, is it's kind of like the evolution of the Diamond Cutter and the Stone Cold Stunner. He jumps out with the Stunner, out with the Diamond Cutter, and it's just a great move, and it's always been a great move. But you know what? Now the RKO is gone mainstream, and it's as common as ABC, NBC, and CBS. The RKO is everywhere.
And Ebola. It's out there.
It is. And anyone can get it. And Seth Rollins certainly got it tonight. Seth Rollins in his second match, he definitely would have lost this match to Randy Orton had there not been a boatload of interference tonight from the Authority. Now, the big thing was, will Randy Orton join the Authority? Triple H pled to him, took him down memory lane with Evolution and all that good shit. And Randy Orton just wasn't having it. He hates Seth Rollins. He actually, and I don't know. I guess Seth Rollins did kind of win them. I don't want to paint the picture that Seth Rollins wouldn't have won the match, but he did win it with a roll up. But I feel like Orton was distracted by all the little goons at ringside, like Mercury and Morrison.
Jamie.
Yeah, Mercury, Morrison, Eminem with Melina at ringside interfering. But after the match, it was kind of cool because Rollins and Kate and everybody were they wanted to calm down. They wanted to calm down Randy Orton, and Triple H was at ringside with Stephanie, and everybody wanted to shake hands with Randy Orton because of what a good match they felt it was between Rollins and Orton. Orton really sold the handshake on Jamie Noble. Like, he showed Jamie Noble love. Jamie Noble showed him love.
That may be the peak of Jamie Noble's professional wrestling career right there, getting that handshake.
Noble and Mercury, man. I mean, dude. I mean, they had their place one day in WWE and WCW lore. It just ain't working. I don't get it. I don't know why those are the guys they're choosing to put on TV.
I don't know. Hey, let's pick out like the newest road agents.
Wait,
and
I
let's throw them on
I
TV.
thought Farouk and Road Dogg were road agents. Use them. Everybody loves Farouk and Road Dogg.
Well, that's the problem. Everybody loves them, and you don't want somebody who you love trying to be somebody you hate.
Well, you know what happened. If Randy Orton tried diamond cutting Farouk would pick his ass up, give him the Dominator, and Farouk would be in the main event picture. That's not what he wants at this point in his life.
Exactly.
And I'll just say this. For those of you who want to learn a little bit more about Farouk, well, you know him from his Florida State days, two-time All-American football player. But what I like best about Farouk is a little match between the Acolytes at the time, Farouk and Bradshaw, and the Public Enemy of ECW fame. Go Google that match or YouTube that match, and you'll enjoy one of the best shoots in the history of WWE, where you'll watch two fat men, two obese men with attitudes who thought they were somebody, get their asses actually beaten and destroyed on TV. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen till this day. Randy Orton, though, the Diamond Cutter, the RK was awesome, man. It's just awesome how everybody's so into it now, and they're like salivating for it, kind of like how the Stunner used to be. Unfortunately, though, although Rollins and friends, there was a couple of RKOs here and there, and Triple H getting knocked on his ass. Orton, it was clear he's no longer part of the Authority. He was curb stomped through the steel steps, and he got his bum beat by the Authority. So
yeah, I did like
it for Orton.
I like this angle because it built up like everybody's like, okay, you know what, they're gonna get out of their system. So it built it up like Orton's gonna just suck it up and stay part of them. Then he RKO's Seth Rollins. Then he takes a beating from the rest of the Authority. Then he puts a beat down on the rest of the Authority.
Yeah.
He eventually ends up out there on the table. Did you see the curb stomp that Seth Rollins landed?
The one where the table didn't break?
Yeah, that was. I don't know if it was supposed to break or just did an absolutely horrible job of not selling.
It didn't look too good.
No, it was not pretty. I mean, Orton was sat up and was like still like stumbling around, thinking like, "The hell? Like this is what you guys sent me? Come on."
Well, you know what? Randy Orton's had bad luck over the years with tables, either getting put through the tables or being put through tables. It just hasn't worked out very well for him. I do think, as we know, we've heard Orton's filming a movie, so he needs a couple weeks off. I think he will be a mystery opponent for Team Cena, or a mystery partner for Team Cena, but he will be back in time for Survivor Series, so he'll be off for a little while. I think this week was just used as a base to really build up the pay-per-view and the teams to start to form, and that's really it right now. I don't know. I guess my favorite part of Raw probably was Dolph Ziggler tonight, just kind of getting in Triple H's face and saying how much he hates the Authority and how much they suck. That was pretty cool. I don't know. Good wrestling. It's just a lot more squash matches. I liked seeing Ryback. I just didn't like an exclusive match with a title change being on the WWE app. That's kind of stupid, but I get why they did it. Talk about hot shot in the title, but that's pretty much it for Raw itself. Anything you want to add? Now, Killer Kev, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Good, very good. So, anything you want to say about tonight's Raw, or anything you want to plug?
I don't.
Who's on tomorrow night?
Well, Undisputed Wrestling Show is taking tomorrow night off because I am working at the polls. I am going out and participating in the Democratic process, and no matter which party you support or which candidates you support, if you're registered to vote, you need to go out and vote tomorrow.
Whoa. You just, okay, I'm going to use a term. Listen, Kev, I consider you a friend, but I'm going to use a term known as hypocrite, because you just said at the end of your sentence, you're going to, no matter what party you are, we're all equal, we all deserve a chance to vote, but you did plug a particular party whose polls you will be working tomorrow night. Whose polls are those again?
We the people.
No, you didn't say that. You said there's two very, very...
I said the democratic process.
I thought you said you're going to be working the Democratic Party's polls.
No, there's no particular party's poll.
Well, he met, depending on how crazy the day goes, he might be working some of the Democratic Party's polls. Only I'm not talking anything that has to do with the election.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
So what you're telling me...
Feel free to edit that one out. Ouch.
You are bipartisan, Kev, tomorrow night.
I am registered independent. I am reporting tomorrow night for Reuters News Agency, so...
That's cool. So you're not working for one party in particular?
No, I'm not working for any particular party.
Is this gonna be the turn? Are you gonna make your face turn from one party or the other?
No, I probably am not. I've got a slate of candidates I'm going to be voting for. But anyway, back to the point. There's not going to be an Undisputed Wrestling Show live tomorrow night because I am going to be away. I can't produce a show. But we are going to have a special pre-recorded episode of the Undisputed Wrestling Show. You're going to want to tune in and find out what guests that we've interviewed in the past that's going to be making a reappearance. So,
I heard it's all Warrior.
Is it Warrior?
I cannot confirm.
So wait, whoa.
It's definitely Warrior.
Has this show ever been heard on our airwaves that you're replaying, or is it pre-recorded?
No, it is pre-recorded. It has not been heard on Angry Marks.
Oh, it's definitely Ultimate Warrior from Beyond the Grave.
Why wouldn't you just say it's live and play it?
Well, because it's not going to be live. It's not going to be live playing. It'll be available for download.
But who are they hosting? Who's the character?
You'll just have to find out.
Correct.
Oh, man. Is it something chicken or something head?
No.
Gotcha.
I'm saving that for the next time you guys take off.
I hear you. Yeah, how did
Did you do a show last week, Kev?
Yeah, how'd it go?
Yeah, it went fine.
What did the
No,
guys
it did. It was probably horrible because it wasn't us.
No, I'm sure these guys
man.
were good. I'm sure
Make it feel a little bit better.
I'm sure they were good. So did these guys what did these guys say when they got in the air? Were they just kinda like, yeah, we're like replacing the guys?
No.
Like, I mean it's gotta be tough to start off a show where you're not like scheduled to be there, but you have to explain and professionally try and make the guys who really didn't do what they're supposed to do look good.
It went fine.
I know they went fine. I'm wondering how they segued in to why they were on the air. That's what I need to hear for myself.
You'll just have to listen if you didn't listen already.
Why? No, I saw that it was Jordan Garber and Goldberg.
Danberg.
Yeah, whatever. Goldberg, Danberg. It doesn't fucking matter. They're both the same thing. Whatever. You're splitting hairs, Kevin. Goldberg, Danberg, Larry Bird. It doesn't matter.
Larry Bird, really?
Whatever. Anyway, so Wednesday night, I heard we have a new show I'm very excited about, Big Dick's Corner. It's going to be very good. Very excited about that. Big Dick, who's your guest this Wednesday on the first edition of Big Dick's Corner?
Well, considering the fact it's just me in the corner rubbing one out, we're going to have a very special guest, someone near and dear to your heart. Miss, what's that?
Sexy Kitten 82.
New Jersey hottie. I'm only 18, or I'm only 15, at AOL.com.
Whenever you tell us those great email addresses, I keep thinking of the great Catch a Predator shows and Chris Hansen sold the shit so well.
Oh my god, best show ever.
Yeah, I mean, like they had a guy, his screen name was like Changed for the Better 2003, and obviously he was a guy who was riddled with demons. He was this little Weasley guy. They humiliated him. They made him pick up like a cheeseburger without pickles, 5 beers, potato chips, and condoms because they want to show intent. So they make him get this list of things. So he
and wine coolers too. Yeah. They made it really wine coolers, tampons, condoms.
Yeah, he gets all these things. Then they make him eat a shitty cookie, and then obviously he gets Hansen comes walking out. And the best part is when Hansen's narrating his own piece, he goes, and then from above, Change for the Better 2003 walks into the room. They don't even call the guy by his real name. They call him by his handle. It's give the guy you're completely humiliating the guy. Give him a break. Call him by his name. Really. Great shows. My favorite, and I know we're on a tangent, but this is probably the best part of the show and the most excited I've gotten. They're on the Jersey Shore. They're on a Jersey Shore, and there's this guy Michael. Michael is supposedly 44. He's really 55, and he meets the smoking hot decoy who's really 18, but she's saying she's 14. And this dude's in full jean jacket and jeans. Looks terrible. He's balding. He's got all the shit. He's got the orange soda. He's got the wine coolers. He's got the condoms. He's got 3 pickles. He's got everything he needs. He comes walking down with his cooler. And this episode in Jersey Shore, because it's on the Jersey Shore, they sit on the beach. And she starts asking him questions. And this one, she's leading him. And she's like, what are we going to do? He's like, well, first we're going to cuddle. And, we'll take it slow, and I'll kind of show you what to do.
Okay, go ahead.
And it'll be good. And then finally, right before Hansen comes out, she looks at him and goes, you like young girls, huh? And he looks over at her and he goes, yeah. And then Hansen comes out right at that moment, and you see the guy's life just crumble. Great TV moment. Make sure you see this stuff.
And then they're like, you're free to go when you want. And he's like, I can't stand up for about 5 minutes.
I know, because they know what's about to happen. And some of them.
Well, no, he was full chub, so he didn't want to get up.
Oh, he was full chub. Yeah. He was full chub.
I wanted to. I've always wanted to
Stop for a second.
go on.
Vic, think about this. You're that guy on the beach. He's 55. He's balding. It's never going to get better for him. He's across from this smoking hot little chick that he thinks is like all of his dreams come true. And he's right there. He's like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Like, this is going to happen. Like, it's like the pinnacle of feelings. Like, he's like, I am a master. This is going to happen. And then Hanson comes out.
Yeah, he's like, I can't believe somebody actually fell for it. And I'm like, oh, crap. Jail's not going to be a fun place for a guy like me, huh?
Love it. Love it.
I've always wanted to troll the message boards, pick up like a young girl, and show up at the house with nothing but a picture of Chris Hansen and a pen to get his autograph.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
Do you bring the condoms I asked you to bring? Like, no, I was just assuming Chris Hansen was going to be here. I wanted to get his autograph.
We were going to catfish our friend Chris and actually do this to him because we thought we could actually pull this off where we could make him believe he's meeting a 16 or 17-year-old girl. And it really would have been us, so we would have kicked his ass the minute he walked in. But that never came to fruition. I'm probably glad it didn't, because he probably, as funny as it would have been for all of us, it's basically the same thing Hanson was doing. Oh, man.
So are you talking about Super Party? Whatever?
No. Killing Kev, how do you feel about Catching Predator?
I know you have an opinion, Kev. Don't be shy.
Oh, boy.
Let's just wrap us up.
Wow.
You know what?
How dare you disrespect us like that?
Dude, I think we should have a recap show on To Catch a Predator episodes.
We could do that.
What night not have a show?
Well, that would be the Thursday night. Big Dick's To Catch a Predator recap special.
Nice. Or we could go trolling to be the Predators, and then go and actually meet the girls and interview them live on the show.
Well,
it's like, so, I'm twice your age. Do you have daddy issues?
You can reverse catfish them. Well, let's be serious. The new lineup is this. You have Raw Reaction on Monday. Tuesday, you have the world's greatest wrestling show, which is pre-taped this week. Wednesday, you have Big Dick's Corner. Thursday, you have Big Dick's To Catch a Predator wrap-up special. Friday, you have Over the Top Radio, which is an over-the-top experience. Saturday is the Sweet and Sour Report has returned with Big Dick. Great show. And C4 The Explosive is on Sunday, which is hosted by our very own Big Dick as well, which is another great 4 hours of wrestling, hence the name C4, The Explosive Experience. Tune in Sunday nights. So, Big Dick, they love you here at the station, and you're gonna get plenty of you this week. Plenty of you. I personally can't wait for Big Dick's Corner. I can't wait for Big Dick's Corner. And the best part of Big Dick's Corner is we actually video conference in Skype, and Big Dick is sitting nude in the corner on a stool. So you see full bum, and he broadcasts from behind. It's pretty amazing.
It's a pretty epic. I think I might be getting a daytime Emmy for that.
The things that happen in Big Dick's Corner.
You know what I gotta say? I'm gonna add something about this Raw wasn't good. I didn't think this Raw was good. But the one thing I really, 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 really hated, the Big Show's backstage promo.
Well, he's gonna cry again.
Oh my god! Like, nothing more pathetic. Like, sell anger, but he's not. He's selling what I want to be on John Cena's team. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to kill Mark Henry. So, I mean, it almost diminishes the feud. Like, hey, this feud isn't worth going to the pay-per-view with, which I think it should be, because I don't want to see either of them in a Survivor Series match against each other. Or in the five-person traditional Survivor Series match. So, I'd rather see him open a pre-show or first match of the show and have an 8-minute match and somehow get to a resolution. But this feud isn't doing anything. And then he starts talking about, oh, I've eaten meals with him. I've had him on my bus. I've had him at my house before Triple H bought my
I've had
house.
bowel movements with him.
What's that?
I've had bowel movements with him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's literally like, he's wiped my ass before. I'm not proud of it, but he's wiped my ass before.
I miss my friend.
Yeah, he's like, but more importantly, I want my friend back. I'm like, wow, this guy, like, you're not selling a feud, Big Show. You're not. I mean, I don't know what he was going for there, but it just didn't do it.
I agree with you 100%, 110%.
So
Well,
I don't know. This Big Show looks like a pussy.
I agree. Well, we'll pick this up more next week. I just have to say, I'm very discouraged and insulted by Killer Kev's treatment of our Catch a Predator segment here tonight. But that's okay. We'll pick this up again Wednesday night on Big Dick's Corner. I am calling in Wednesday night at some point, so hopefully you'll hear me there. If not, on Thursday night, you can hear me on Big Dick's Catch Predator recap show, or Saturday or Sunday night's Big Dick's show. So there's plenty of Big Dick to go around. I know you people all love it. You love that Big Dick, don't you? Anyway, for Big Dick and myself, the Angry Tensai, aka Rusev's penis, we hope you enjoyed the show. I know I did. I know I had a good laugh the last 15 minutes for sure. Big Dick, take us home and say something eloquent as we log off tonight.
Well, I think Rusev is going to be one of the greatest United States champions of all time. I think he's going to be up there with legends such as Chris Benoit.
Well said. Well said. Thank you, Big Dick. Kev, hit our music.